I want my hair to not be doing this thing. Hello, I'm in a different place. If the audio or the video is bad, I'm sorry. It's gonna be a bit of trial and error for a little while. And if you hear the dog outside, I'm not sorry about that. He's adorable. So I have been gone for 3 months, which I'm sorry, kind of. Like, I am sorry about it, but also like I was doing my own shit. So I just wanted to kind of address, before I came back officially, what the hell is going on right now, because I thought that it would be a bit, I don't know, dickish to just pretend it's not happening and that I'm not definitely back in the States. In my bedroom, that's actually now my dad's office, that's also now kind of my office because I have to work from home, which is just like, just sort of an insane concept to me. And also, I'm on a sofa bed, so it's not even like a bedroom anymore. I don't know, it's weird shit, man. Anyway, so the whole point of me talking about this is to say, hey, how you doing? Like, I know that people are super struggling right now, so like, real talk, how are you doing? Are you coping? How are you coping? Because I know that the way that people are being able to cope kind of varies based on where you live and the contingencies that's been in place. And I happen to know from where I live and the fact that my sister is an essential worker at Amazon that things aren't necessarily going great for everyone. So what I wanted to do today is just sort of talk about quarantine and kind of what I've been doing the last couple of months, what I've been doing the last couple of weeks to cope with quarantine, and some advice that I have for people who might be struggling mental health wise right now, which isn't very good advice because I'm not a mental health professional. Just the things that have helped me with my own being stuck inside sort of thing, because I'm like a massive introvert, but it's one of those things where like when you want to be inside and never leave the house, it's great, but then the minute someone tells you you're not allowed to leave the house, it's like, what the fuck? Why are you telling me what to do? I might sneeze. We'll find out in a second. No? Okay, so the last couple of months, part of the reason why I've just been so crazy busy and all the promises I made at the start of the year I have not been keeping is I have basically had my research load tripled. I am reading 2 to 3 chapters a day on top of working 30 hours a week and trying to I'm actually writing the dissertation now, which just feels insane. At the end of the month, they'll tick over, even though I haven't been there like a full 2 years yet, they're ticking over my classification from a second year to a third year, which just like, I don't even know how that's supposed to work, but it's giving me a little bit of anxiety because I'm kind of towards the end of this whole thing, and it's becoming a bit too real now. So my head's just gone from like, oh, PhD to PhD. And even though I'm aware that I am not graduating for another year or more, somehow 12 to 18 months feels like 3 months, and my anxiety is reacting accordingly. So I am working probably too hard, but I'm way ahead, which feels great. But also, it's just sort of one of those things where your supervisors get to the point and they're like, well, this is a substantive amount of work, and you know that's just code for, wow, you wrote a lot of words. This is a lot of words on a page that you have given us that we have now had to spend time reading. So thanks for that. And the draft of my first chapter was the length of my entire master's dissertation. So you can kind of see where my head is at right now. So just throwing that out there, that's been the last couple of months, especially the last month-ish. We've now had to be worrying about all of this COVID-19 stuff. And for me, that's been a little touch and go panic-wise. Like, I haven't been panicking, but it's something that I've very closely kept my eye on because I have asthma, which is super fun. Everyone who knows what asthma's like knows that it's just a super fun time. Because it's like simultaneously one of those things where people will either like super freak out about the fact that you have it. Like I have like multiple supervisors, and like one supervisor will be like, you have asthma, right? Are you gonna be okay? Should you work in the back? You should go work in the back. And another thing that's just like, oh, you have asthma, but like it's not that bad, right? And it's not like a bad knock on like either philosophy. It's just like asthma is just one of those very vague things that no one really knows how to respond to. So that was my last couple of weeks at work. And then as all of these things have been shutting down, my parents are like, I was supposed to come home for a wedding in May. I am going to be a bridesmaid in my friend's wedding, which is super exciting, but like obviously that was postponed. So we're not really thinking about that right now. But the fact is, I was supposed to fly home in May. The plan was I would fly home basically the Thursday before the wedding, which was on a Saturday, and then fly back the Wednesday after so I could spend like a couple days with my parents. But they were like, oh, hey, countries are like shutting down and we feel better with you not, you know, several thousand miles away from us. Maybe we can fly you home now. When my work went off on Easter, I flew home, and I'm just gonna tell you some stories about the flight because I feel like some weird ass stories. And I'm paused again. Is this like a thing? Oh, I'm back. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this computer, but you know, it's fine because I don't have my normal setup, and I didn't really think about bringing it home. So now I'm just like recording on the photo booth on my computer and just hoping that the natural light from the window, since I can only open one of them, is going to be enough and I'm not breathing between my words. Well, so I do have tea, but it's over there because eventually I want to like relax on the sofa bed when I drink it, but the light is here. So I'm sitting at the desk with just looks like this white void as a backdrop. Just enjoy the white void. I should like, my sister has another tapestry. I should steal it from her and put it up here just to make it look like it's not just like empty. Or you can see my John Lennon poster across the room, which I would show you, but that would require you seeing my unifridge and microwave. And I don't really feel like showing that off right now, so sorry, not sorry. So anyway, I promised to tell you about my flight home. And here's the thing, guys, here's the thing. I slept on the plane. Which like, I know, people sleep on planes all the time, but I don't sleep on planes. Like, this was a huge deal, and let me tell you why. Because they booked the planes, so no one had anybody sitting next to you. They social distanced the planes. So I had, like, I was on a window seat, so I only had like, it's the 2-3-2 rows. I was on a 2 row, so I only had 2 seats, but I could like lie down. And I rewatched Knives Out because I was super sick when I watched that. And then I felt like, you know what? Let's just watch a comfort movie. And the plane like library had an entire like section just dedicated to whodunits. So I just watched Clue just for fun. It was great. And then I watched The Good Place. I think, is that what I did? I legitimately don't remember, but I feel like that's what I did. So anyway, that was my first plane ride. And then we landed an hour early, which meant I had over 7 hours of a layover. Now 7-hour layovers suck anyway, but like the airport was empty. All of the shops, all of the restaurants, like it was difficult for me to just find a place to get a snack to eat before the second flight home. Like it was rough. And I was just me, pretty much alone at the gate, 7 hours early, just chilling, trying to get some work done, but also I hadn't slept all day because I had to wake up at 4:15 to drive for the first time ever. Oh my God, how did I leave this out? I drove to the airport, and I've never driven in the UK before because, you know, like I learned here, and I wasn't about to like die on the wrong side of the road. But hey, I did it. I listened to the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend soundtrack the entire way there. It was great. I sang along the whole time because when anxiety, you listen to Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And that's just my thing. I have been awake since 4 a.m. and I won't be able to even board the plane until 2 a.m. my time. So I'm just like, my acting is terrible. This is why I don't do that shit. Anyway. So I'm like falling asleep at the gate and it sucks. And I'm trying to get work done. I'm trying to read this poetry that's like this super religious poetry and it's referencing all of these people, but I don't have the internet to look up who these people are because it keeps cutting in and out. And my parents are calling me every once in a while, like, hey, yo, you still awake? And then I have this guy at the gate just like coming up to me like, yo, are you going to Grand Rapids? And I was like, yup. They're like, cool. And I just go back. And then, like an hour before we're supposed to board the plane, this guy comes up, like the same guy, this guy at the gate just comes up to me and goes, all right, let's go. And I was like, what? Turns out there were only 2 of us on this plane. Like, total. Only 2 of us had booked on this plane. I don't even know how they were still flying us out, but they did. And so rather than like announcing us over the gate, they literally just came up to us and was like, you're going to Grand Rapids, right? Cool, get on the plane. And so when we got on, they're like, choose a seat in first class. And then we just sat on the plane waiting to take off for well over an hour. And then we just like drove around Newark Airport for probably way too long. And then we got on the plane. And then my mom picked me up at Grand Rapids and drove me here. And I was quarantined for 2 weeks by the CDC, where I was required to take my temperature twice a day, every day. And it turns out when you do that, you realize that your temperature goes like this a lot more than you think it does. So the first day I took it and it was really low. And the second day I took it and it was a little higher, and my entire family started freaking out for a second. But then the next day it was really low again. We're like, oh, that's just what happens to your body. A really long story, definitely not short. I have basically been hunkering down, working on as much research as possible while I'm technically on holiday from work. And this week is my first week back and my second week working from home. This is now my new setup. This is where I'm going to be living for the next God knows how long. But it's also where I'm hoping to try and get some actual videos made, because if I'm gonna be here to work and I work X amount of hours a day, why not just stay at this desk a little longer and like plan out some stuff, you know? Like I promised. And then I can go sit on the couch and read and do research stuff, because I was going to do that anyway. That's basically the plan and what I have been doing. And I've been basically radio silent because I've been kind of just trying to figure out what I'm doing, what is going on. And since I've been home, I've only posted one thing, and that was a picture of me with the dog, because I love that freaking dog. And basically everything that I've been sending people is just this dog. It's not even my dog, but I love the dog. Hopefully that kind of high energy story time thing wasn't just like completely terrifying, because it turns out I'm going a little crazy in here. Like, maybe you haven't been able to tell, but I'm going just like slightly crazy, just a little bit, like tiny bit. How have I been coping? Outside of just not wearing pants or touching my face ever. By that, I mean makeup. This is like the second day I've been home that I've actually worn makeup, which probably should like make my face like really clear, like clear my skin, but I'm super allergic to dogs and my face has just not been having it. But what can I say? I want to cuddle the dog. The first night I was here, he licked my lip and it just went whoop, and it swelled up to like 3 times the size. Like normally what I look like when I eat peanuts big, like it was bad. I think he accidentally licked like an open wound or something, like my lips have been really dry, but it was really gross. And now he can't touch my face or give me kisses anymore, which is just really upsetting, but I can still pet him and I can still hug him. So obviously one of the ways I've been coping is dog. I have not for the last 2 weeks. Like today is the first day that I am officially outside of this quarantine, but I have not been allowed to leave my house for 2 weeks. And I haven't been able to do anything but basically sit around and do nothing. And like, I know the only thing that I would be able to do is go to the grocery store and come back from the grocery store. It does get a little bit confining when you don't even have the option, but one of the things I can do, as long as I don't go in public, is go for walks. So I went with my family onto a trail, which was really nice. I got to see some trees. It was actually kind of warm that day, even though it's freezing and like 2-3 degrees Celsius, 35 degrees Fahrenheit right now outside. Like, Michigan weather sucks, man. It sucks. So going for walks, I've obviously been taking the dog most of the time, but sometimes I'll just go out on my own or with my parents and we'll just have lovely walks. One of the things that I loved doing for work was the walk there, which was about 1.5 miles to 2 miles each way. And the walk around the lakes near my house is about 1.5 miles. So if I do that twice a day, then no, I'm not really getting the incline that I would be getting, but I'm still doing, you know, some walking, and that I think is something that's going to be really keeping me sane. But I have allowed myself to kind of indulge in guilty pleasures. Like, I rewatched all of Riverdale. Why? No reason. I just wanted to. I actually wanted to rewatch season 1 because I was like, do you remember when the show wasn't like batshit crazy? What was that like? And then I got rehooked and rewatched the whole thing like a weirdo. And I've been rewatching YouTube videos I've seen a million times and just sort of going back through things that I'm comfortable with that like make me feel comfortable, safe, I guess. And obviously I'm with my family and people don't really have that option sometimes. Either they're living on their own or they don't really have a relationship with their families. That makes kind of how I'm getting through quarantine feasible, and that is completely and totally understandable. And if that's you, hey. When I asked you how you were doing when I started this video, I meant it. And if you need someone to talk to or want to shoot the shit or talk about movies or books or literally anything else, hit me up. I've got all my social media in the description. I have the comments if that's what you prefer. I feel like connection is probably the only thing that's gonna get us through this crazy batshit time. And sometimes that's all you need. So if you need someone to reach out to me. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, try and reach out to someone you haven't spoken to for a while, but that you trust and you feel comfortable with. It's a little weird and no one really knows what's going on, but the good news is no one knows what's going on and everyone is just kind of having just a shit time. And if you're struggling financially or to get food, let me know and I'll see if I can help figure out some resources in your area that might be able to help you out. If I weren't with my parents, I would probably be screwed right now too. I still have my job and I'm very, very lucky for that, but I don't even know where I'd be. So I would love to help if I can, even if it's just to help you find resources that will assist you. And, you know, just be an ear if you need one. We can like live tweet movies. Like I legit just like sat down with a person, watched the same movie at the same time and just like going back and forth with like live comments. And I have a lot of fun doing that. So even if it's some shit like that, just let me know. I'll be here. And I hope that you're kind of starting to settle into some sort of rhythm. It just feels so weird to say because like some people might be kind of used to working from home right now and some people might just feel like everything is completely up in the air. Just let me know if there's anything I can do to help and hopefully we can start to get through the craziness together. Okay, I am gonna leave you here, but I just felt I would be remiss if I just sort of came back without addressing what's going on. And so here's me addressing it, and hopefully anything we do going forward, we can do kind of together or for fun or as a way to just lighten the mood, or maybe not, maybe just to like do something normal. I don't know. But if you do want something that you think personally is gonna make you feel a lot better, put it in the comments. Let's make some people happy, I guess. Enjoy another video of the dog while I sign out. Thank you for watching. Bye.